I hate when this stuff happens because it makes me feel like I've made a mistake.
A mistake of what?
I'm getting divorced.
Girl, God, tight ass pants on. Like, he literally borrowed that outfit. He can't afford her. You know how tight that jacket was? Like, he could not even breathe with that taco meat on his chest. Like, he legit pissed me off. There are a shortage in men, girl.
This situation with Tia Mowry is very sad and sickening. I would say to a lot of you young people out there, man, when you married, please try to hang around other married friends that are successfully married, that are happy, that are doing good things, that are doing family things. Don't hang around a bunch of the single sisterhood that want to keep you miserable. When I look at Tia as a man that's been married to a black woman for 23 years, we just had our anniversary on the 13th of this month. I see a woman she's just confused. She doesn't know whether she's coming or going. When she talks about Corey was her everything, he was her first, her last, her everything, she don't know what she's doing, right? And then she has a bunch of immature women that haven't been in relationships for 5 minutes giving her advice. She needs to go sit down and talk to a shrink or talk to somebody because she's really dealing with this in a horrible way. And she's actually embarrassing her family. You know, in a time like today where, you know, she throw little innuendos about her not being happy with her marriage, she opens up the door for women to come question Corey whether he was doing very bad things to her or not. And that may not be the case. But when you make these certain statements that you make, I mean, you're not covering your husband. You know what I mean? You know, at the expense of making money on social media. Because she goes from one extreme to the next. Then she goes here.
I hate when this stuff happens because it makes me feel like I've made a mistake. I don't want to be alone, you know. So when I'm going through these challenges, sometimes you want to go back. The only person that I ever loved in my life was my ex.
Remember when she first left Corey? You know, she had on your freakum dress and all that kind of stuff. And because she says that she never dated. She never experienced those kind of things. And she was yearning to experience this stuff. So I told y'all, she go hot and cold from one extreme to the next. And she said, a word from me, since narratives are being made without my consent, here it is, and only here. Just because the dating life is complicated doesn't mean I'm going back to something that no longer serves me. That's like implementing if I don't book an audition or as a part of it, as an actor right away, I'm going to give up on my dreams. Please just stop. I ain't that weak. Please move on because I have thank you next. And she was going on and on and on, but then she was doing this.
Just because you are no longer doesn't mean that there's no love there. This is a symbol of a marriage. And it's the only person that I ever loved in my life was my ex. He's still in my heart, you know? And just to think about someone else feels weird.
And see, she's talking to the sisterhood, the single, miserable sisterhood. And they're projecting all of their bad decisions and past pains onto Tia. They're not helping Tia none. Tia was with that man forever, right? And they have children and everything. We're in a time now where women's empowerment is saying, I don't need a man. And then a year later, you see them miserable and crying and they want to go back to their man and their family because they find out that there's nothing greener on the other side. It's really horrible on the other side. And it's, you know, like I said, you looking at the girlfriends and listen, like, it's just the level of maturity is insane. And for me, when she talks about how she wasn't able to start dating until she was like 18 years old, and then she lost her virginity at 25 years old, you know, there's a lot of experiences that I guess she yearned for, that when she had one eye on Corey and another eye looking over the fence at what she thought the world should be for her or what it could be. So she said that she wasn't happy. She wasn't, you know, he could never bring her happiness and that. And what I'm learning from this now is it had nothing to do with Corey. It was all within herself. She wasn't happy within. And this is why she speaks about her sister's life and how her sister is living separate from her and doing separate things. But then she's on anybody to shove a microphone in front of her face. She's talking about the adoration that she's getting from women and all these people that these are not your family. You're being duped. Listen to this.
About inspiring and encouraging. And I mean, the DMs that I have gotten from so many women that are going through the same thing and just saying how they admire my courage and my strength.
Because people who know Corey Hardrict know that his kids and his family was everything to him.
So now she's talking about what she's getting from the women. And like I said, she's not covering her husband at all. So, but again, it opens up doors for speculation of what was really going on in that marriage, right? So if there was nothing and you're carrying on like this and you're making a spectacle out of your ex-husband, this is sad, man. Because if it was something like, my whole thing is you're doing all of this for profit. I wonder what, when she goes to drop the children off, what does Corey say to her? Like, what are you doing? Or are they both just cashing in off this? I don't know. Because this is like weird. If I was married to a woman for so long, I would have a gag order on her. She wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't say nothing about her in public, but she wouldn't be able to make a spectacle out of me and my children like this. This is insane, right? Because she, like I said, however she feels, and then she goes, right, and she puts this out there.
I lived my life for others, and I found validation with myself.
You shouldn't have to act in your life.
Yeah, that part. And that's what it was. I got tired of not being authentic, you know, and living in my truth. I got tired of showing up at events and people thinking that everything was perfect when it wasn't, you know, like I would go home and feel alone.
So I guess she was feeling herself because she even doubled down and she started talking about the societal norms and the society roles and the way that she viewed herself. And like I told you, she go from hot to cold. One minute she's saying that she felt like she regretted. Her girlfriend's telling her the girl be quiet. Then she's crying, saying the only love she knew was him. Then she goes cold-hearted again, and she talking like this.
Like that has really been my role in this marriage. Society says that the only reason why we are here on earth is to please a man, to cater to serve, to birth their children. But that mindset is toxic because if you believe that, and I did for a minute, you'll stay in a situation where you are unhappy. Life is too short to live like that.
I often tell you guys that marriage and relationships are not something that's promised to you like life or death. It's something that you got to fight for, especially in a time that's anti-marriage, anti-family, pushing everything I, me, vanity all over the place. They're pushing over-sexualization, hyper-sexualization, debauchery. It's all kinds of things that's being pushed. People are running outside and doing all kinds of stuff on the inside when the accountability comes knocking, nobody wants to be accountable. And a lot of women and men actually want to leave their homes and their loved ones to run out to that. Instead of holding things down and getting it right and keeping it tight and making it right, they don't want to do that. They want to go out into the world, and then you see them crying and in agony when the flip side of that comes in. Because when it's time to pay up, they don't want to pay up. You want to run out there into the devil's den. You want to do you. And no, that's not the way. That's not the way of doing things, man. You young people, like, just think about it. We're in a time today where people are freer than they ever been. And you guys are the most miserable, the most unhappy than you ever been. Because you've lost sense of family. You lost sense of unity. You lost sense of commitment. You lost sense of sacrifice. All the things that it would take to obtain, maintain, and sustain a relationship. You no longer have that. And this is the part that me as the OG is trying to impart to you. You're not committed to nothing. The minute the going gets rough, you get going. The minute he says something, or she say something that you don't like, you thinking about the dude on the job or the girl at the gym or this. You already got one foot out the door or one eye over the fence. You ain't 10 toes down. You ain't right or wrong, weak or strong. What's your partner? Teamwork make the dream work. You think I got 23 years of marriage and counting? With one eye over the fence, 4 kids, 6 grandchildren? With one eye over the fence? No. I'm 10 toes down. I'm all in. All my chips is pushed to the middle of the table. And when you see this kind of stuff and the way she's carrying on, this ain't it, family. This ain't the right way. This ain't the way that you do things, you young people. Stop bopping that weed back and forth, thinking you know everything. Shut your mouth. If that man is willing if he's good enough for you to crack your behind open and let him enter you, then he should be the one that, because remember, you selected him. You selected him. He should be the one that you should want to hitch your wagon to and y'all work it out. If this woman is good enough, young man, for you to drop your seed in, for you to drop your forever in, because you carry the seed of forever. You keep the generations going. If this woman is good enough for you to drop your seed in, then this woman is good enough for you to sacrifice and be committed to. If not, don't complain when accountability show up. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear that. If you dropping your seed in this soil, then you have to be there to provide sunlight, water, protection, direction, and correction. You have to be there. Protection, direction, and correction. And if he's good enough for him, to drop his seed in your soil, then you have to be willing to accept his direction, protection, and correction. If not, then I don't want to hear none of that. You're all fake. You're all phony. You're all hypocrites. And stop projecting your past pain onto other people, because everybody's situation is different. I'm going to cut this video short here. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.